What if I told you that everything you've been trying to manifest has been backwards this entire time? What if the reason your vision boards aren't working, your affirmations feel empty, and your manifestation attempts keep falling flat isn't because you're doing it wrong, it's because you've been approaching the quantum field like a beggar instead of a commander. Here's the controversial truth that's going to flip your entire understanding of reality creation. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you want, what you wish for, or what you desperately hope will happen. The quantum field only responds to one thing: who you consistently are at the identity level. Most people spend years trying to convince the universe to give them what they desire while maintaining the exact same identity that created their current limitations. They're like someone demanding a different reflection while standing in the exact same position in front of the mirror. But what if you discovered that your identity isn't just your personality or your self-image? It's actually the command system that directly controls what the quantum field delivers to you. What if every experience in your life, from your bank account, to your relationships, to your opportunities, is just the universe perfectly obeying the commands your identity has been broadcasting 24/7? If you're tired of feeling like manifestation is something that happens to other people, but never quite works for you, if you're ready to stop begging the universe for scraps and start commanding it from a place of authentic power, then this is your wake-up call. Because today, you're going to discover that your identity is the command. And when you master quantum identity embodiment, reality has no choice but to obey what you consistently embody. There's this invisible force operating around you 24/7, like a cosmic magnet that keeps pulling the same types of experiences into your life over and over again. You might wonder why you always seem to attract the same kind of relationships, the same financial struggles or the same career roadblocks, thinking it's just bad luck or coincidence. But here's the thing that most people never realize. Your identity is broadcasting a specific signal to the universe, and reality has no choice but to match that frequency with corresponding experiences. It's like being stuck on the same radio station and wondering why you keep hearing the same songs. The station hasn't changed because your internal tuning dial is locked in position. This magnetic truth reveals that when you master quantum identity embodiment, you literally become the command center for what shows up in your reality. The crazy part is that this magnetic pull operates completely below your conscious awareness, which is why you can want different results while unconsciously attracting the same patterns. Your identity acts like a powerful broadcasting tower, sending out energetic signals about who you believe yourself to be, what you think you deserve, and what feels familiar and safe to your nervous system. If your identity frequency is tuned to "I'm someone who struggles with money," then no matter how much you consciously want abundance, you'll keep magnetizing situations that confirm this deeper program. The universe isn't being cruel or random, it's actually being incredibly responsive to the commands your identity is giving it, even when those commands contradict your conscious desires. Most people try to change their external circumstances while keeping their internal identity exactly the same, which is like trying to change your reflection while standing in the exact same position in front of the mirror. But when you understand that your identity is the magnetic force creating your experiences, you realize that shifting your external world requires shifting the internal command center first. This recognition opens the door to something even more profound, understanding exactly how the quantum field operates and why it responds to identity rather than wishful thinking. The key lies in grasping the deeper mechanics of how consciousness creates reality at the most fundamental level. The quantum field isn't some mystical, fluffy concept that exists in spiritual books. It's the fundamental fabric of reality that physicists have been studying for over a century, and it operates according to very specific laws that have everything to do with consciousness and identity. Here's what blows most people's minds. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you want, hope for, or desperately wish would happen. It responds to what you are at the deepest level of your being. It's like having a cosmic computer that only recognizes identity-based commands, completely ignoring all the pleading, begging, and wanting that your mind throws at it. When scientists discovered that the observer effect literally changes reality at the quantum level, they proved that consciousness shapes physical experience, but they missed the crucial detail that it's not just any consciousness, it's quantum identity embodiment that command the quantum field. Think of the quantum field as the most sophisticated artificial intelligence ever created, one that reads your energetic signature and delivers experiences that perfectly match your identity frequency. If your identity vibrates at "I'm someone who always has financial stress," the field responds by organizing circumstances that validate this frequency with mathematical precision. It doesn't judge whether this identity is good or bad for you. It simply fulfills the command it's receiving from your deepest sense of self. This is why someone can practice manifestation techniques for years, but keep getting the same results. They're trying to manifest with identity while maintaining the very identity that created their current reality. The field is constantly responding to who you're being, not who you're trying to become. The breakthrough happens when you realize that changing your external reality isn't about convincing the quantum field to give you what you want. It's about becoming the type of person who naturally receives what you desire. When your identity shifts from someone who wants abundance to someone who is abundant, the field has no choice but to reorganize reality around this new command. This isn't about pretending or acting. It's about genuine transformation at the identity level, where your sense of self becomes so aligned with your desired reality that the quantum field simply mirrors back this new frequency. But understanding this principle is just the beginning. The real power comes from recognizing that you are the broadcast signal itself. You're not just living in reality. You are the reality-creating broadcast station, transmitting a unique energetic signature every moment that directly shapes what shows up in your experience. Most people think they're passive observers of life, but the truth is that you're an active transmitter, constantly sending out identity-based frequencies that the universe receives and responds to with matching experiences. It's like being a radio DJ who doesn't realize they're on the air, unconsciously playing the same playlist of limiting beliefs, old stories, and inherited patterns while wondering why their audience, reality, keeps requesting the same songs. Your energetic signature isn't just your thoughts or emotions. It's the coherent signal created by your beliefs, your nervous system state, your self-talk, and most importantly, your core identity about who you believe yourself to be. The power of recognizing yourself as the broadcast lies in understanding that you can consciously choose what signal you're transmitting instead of unconsciously inheriting frequency patterns from your past. When someone truly embodies quantum identity embodiment, they stop being a victim of whatever signal they randomly inherited and become the conscious creator of their energetic output. This might look like choosing to broadcast confidence instead of insecurity when walking into a networking event, or transmitting abundance consciousness instead of scarcity fear when making financial decisions. The shift happens when you realize that every interaction, every decision, every moment of your day is an opportunity to either reinforce your old identity frequency or command the quantum field through a new, elevated broadcast. What's fascinating is that once you start operating as a conscious broadcaster, you'll notice that reality becomes incredibly responsive to your intentional signals. People treat you differently because they're unconsciously picking up on your shifted energy. Opportunities appear more frequently because you're vibrating at the frequency that attracts them. And synchronicities increase because you're in energetic alignment with the flow of abundance. This isn't magic or wishful thinking. It's the natural result of understanding that you're not separate from the field you're trying to influence. But being the broadcast is only half the equation. The other half involves making sure your signal is clear and consistent rather than mixed and confusing. The biggest reason most people struggle with manifestation is that they're unconsciously sending mixed signals to the quantum field, like trying to tune into multiple radio stations at once and wondering why the reception is fuzzy and inconsistent. You might be affirming abundance while feeling anxious about money, or visualizing success while your identity still believes you're not the type of person who achieves big things. These mixed signals create what physicists call interference patterns in the quantum field, where conflicting frequencies cancel each other out, leaving you stuck in the same patterns despite your conscious efforts to change. The universe doesn't know which signal to respond to when your thoughts say one thing, your emotions feel another, and your identity believes something completely different. True quantum identity embodiment requires what I call coherent broadcasting, aligning your thoughts, emotions, and identity so they're all transmitting the same frequency to the quantum field. This means not just thinking abundant thoughts, but feeling abundant emotions and embodying an abundant identity at the cellular level. When someone achieves this alignment, they manifest with identity in ways that seem miraculous to others, but are actually just the natural result of sending a clear, consistent signal. It's like finally tuning into a single, powerful radio station instead of trying to listen to 3 different stations simultaneously. The clarity and strength of the signal dramatically improves the quality of what you receive. The practical application of this involves catching yourself when you're sending mixed signals and consciously choosing to align all 3 elements. If you notice your thoughts are focused on your goals, but your emotions are stuck in fear and your identity still feels limited, you can pause and ask, what would someone who naturally has what I desire think, feel, and believe about themselves in this moment? Then you consciously choose to align all 3 levels with that elevated state. This practice of moment-to-moment alignment is what separates people who occasionally manifest small things from those who consistently command the quantum field to create profound transformations. But knowing how to align is just the beginning. The real transformation happens when you train your nervous system to maintain this coherence automatically. Your nervous system is like a sophisticated recording device that's been documenting every experience you've ever had, and it uses this database to determine what feels safe, familiar, and normal for you to experience. The challenge is that your nervous system doesn't distinguish between what actually happened and what you vividly imagine happening. It responds to both with equal intensity, which is why embodiment rituals are so powerful for quantum identity embodiment. When you consistently practice being the person who already has what you desire, your nervous system starts to accept this new reality as your new normal, making it easier to maintain the frequency that attracts those experiences. It's like updating your internal software so that abundance, success, and joy feel familiar instead of foreign to your system. One of the most effective embodiment rituals involves what I call future self-integration, where you spend 20 minutes each morning literally feeling into the energy of the version of yourself who has already achieved your desires. This isn't just visualization. It's full-body embodiment where you breathe like they breathe, sit like they sit, feel the emotions they feel, and move through space with their confidence and ease. You might practice making decisions from their perspective, handling challenges with their wisdom, or simply enjoying the feeling of their success and fulfillment. The key is making this experience so vivid and real that your nervous system starts to believe this is who you actually are, which naturally leads to choices and behaviors that align with this new identity. Another powerful ritual is identity anchoring, where you create specific physical or sensory triggers that instantly reconnect you with your elevated identity whenever you feel yourself slipping back into old patterns. This could be wearing a particular piece of jewelry that represents your empowered self, using a specific essential oil scent while you're in your peak state, or creating a power pose that you associate with your confident identity. Throughout your day, when you notice your frequency dropping or your old identity trying to take over, you can use these anchors to immediately command the quantum field through your embodied presence, rather than getting lost in mental stories about limitation. But creating these rituals is just the foundation. The real magic happens when you learn to recalibrate your reality in real time throughout your daily life. Life has a way of throwing curveballs that can knock you out of your elevated identity and back into old patterns, which is why mastering reality recalibration is essential for maintaining your quantum identity embodiment consistently. Reality recalibration is the practice of using everyday triggers, both challenging and neutral experiences, as opportunities to strengthen your new identity rather than letting them pull you back into your old one. It's like having a spiritual fitness program, where every interaction, every unexpected event, every moment of stress becomes a chance to practice being your elevated self instead of defaulting to your historical reactions. The people who successfully manifest with identity long-term are those who've learned to use their daily life as training ground for embodying their new frequency. The practice starts with recognizing what I call identity choice points, those moments throughout your day when you can either react from your old identity or respond from your new one. Maybe someone cuts you off in traffic and you have a choice. Will you react from your old identity of stress and victimhood, or will you respond from your new identity of peace and empowerment? Perhaps you receive an unexpected bill and you can either spiral into your old identity of financial anxiety or handle it from your new identity of abundance and trust. Each time you consciously choose your elevated response, you're literally rewiring your neural pathways and training your nervous system to make your new identity the automatic default rather than something you have to remember to access. Advanced reality recalibration involves turning even positive experiences into identity reinforcement opportunities. When something good happens, you get a compliment, find money on the street, or have a smooth day. Instead of being surprised or attributing it to luck, you consciously recognize it as evidence that the universe is responding to your new identity frequency. You might think, of course, this good thing happened. I'm someone who naturally attracts positive experiences. This practice trains your mind to expect and normalize abundance, rather than treating it as a rare exception. The more you use daily life to reinforce your new identity, the more stable your frequency becomes. But there's one crucial element that determines whether this transformation is temporary or permanent. The quantum field operates like an incredibly sophisticated measuring device that's constantly taking readings of your identity frequency, and it needs to detect consistent, stable signals before it will reorganize reality around your new pattern. Think of it like moving to a new address. If you keep switching between your old address and your new one, your mail gets confused and delivered to the wrong place. But when you consistently give out your new address, everything starts flowing to your new location reliably. Your identity frequency works the same way. When you fluctuate between your old self and your new self, the quantum field receives mixed data and can't deliver a consistent reality experience. But when you command the quantum field through consistent quantum identity embodiment, it begins to trust that this new frequency is your permanent address and starts delivering experiences that match. Most people sabotage their manifestations through what I call frequency yo-yoing. They'll spend a morning in their elevated identity, feeling abundant and confident, but then something challenging happens and they immediately snap back to their old identity of lack and limitation. This inconsistency is like repeatedly changing your order at a restaurant right before the food comes out. The kitchen gets confused and can't deliver anything coherent. The universe needs to see that your new identity isn't just a temporary peak experience, but your new baseline way of being. This is why someone can have breakthrough moments of clarity and elevated states, but still live the same life patterns. They haven't learned to maintain consistency in their identity frequency. The secret to consistency isn't perfection, it's recovery speed. Advanced practitioners of quantum identity embodiment don't avoid slipping back into old patterns. They've just learned to catch themselves quickly and return to their elevated frequency before the quantum field interprets the dip as a permanent change. It's like learning to drive a car smoothly. You don't avoid all swerving, but you quickly correct back to your intended path. The more consistently you practice this identity recalibration, the more your elevated frequency becomes your new normal, and the more the quantum field begins to respond with matching experiences that feel natural rather than miraculous. But achieving this consistency requires understanding that you're not just changing your thoughts or behavior, you're literally becoming a different person at the energetic level. The ultimate realization in quantum identity embodiment is understanding that you're not trying to attract your desires from outside yourself. You're becoming the living portal through which those desires naturally flow into physical reality. A portal isn't something that reaches for what it wants. It's a stable opening that allows what already exists in higher dimensions to manifest in the physical plane. When you truly embody this understanding, you stop grasping, chasing, and trying to force outcomes, and instead become a consistent frequency that magnetizes your desires through your very being. It's like becoming a tuning fork that's so stable in its vibration that it causes everything around it to resonate at the same frequency. This is the mastery level of manifestation, becoming such a clear, consistent signal that the quantum field has no choice but to organize reality around what you've energetically claimed. Becoming a portal requires what spiritual teachers call claiming without attachment. You energetically claim ownership of your desired reality, while simultaneously releasing any desperate need for it to appear in a specific timeline or form. This isn't indifference. It's the deep knowing that what you've claimed energetically must manifest physically because you've become a perfect match for it at the identity level. Someone operating as a portal doesn't worry about when their desires will show up because they know they are the desires in energetic form, and physical manifestation is just the natural delay between energetic creation and physical appearance. They manifest with identity, not as someone trying to get something, but as someone expressing what they already are. The beauty of portal consciousness is that it makes manifestation feel effortless because you're no longer working against your nature. You're simply allowing your authentic frequency to express itself in form. When you've claimed abundance at the identity level, attracting money feels natural rather than difficult. When you've claimed love as your core frequency, attracting relationships feels inevitable rather than unlikely. When you've claimed success as your identity, achieving your goals feels like coming home rather than climbing mountains. This is the ultimate goal of learning to command the quantum field, not to manipulate reality from the outside, but to become the reality you want to experience and let it flow through you as naturally as breathing flows through your lungs. Now I need you to be completely honest with yourself. What identity have you been consistently embodying? Have you been commanding the quantum field as someone who naturally deserves abundance, love, and success? Or have you been broadcasting the frequency of someone who has to struggle, convince, and prove their worth? Your external reality is giving you the answer with mathematical precision. It's showing you exactly what commands your identity has been sending to the universe. Here's my challenge for you. For the next 24 hours, I want you to catch yourself every time you slip into your old identity patterns and consciously choose to embody the identity of someone who already has what you desire. Don't just think it, feel it, breathe it, move like them, speak like them, make decisions like them. Tell me in the comments, what's one way your new identity would handle a situation differently than your old identity? Your answer will tell you everything about why your reality looks the way it does. But if you're truly ready to master this and make the quantum field consistently obey your commands, then you absolutely cannot miss the video that's appearing on your screen right now. I'm about to reveal the specific daily protocol I use to maintain quantum identity embodiment so consistently that my old limitations literally can't find me anymore. This is the missing piece that separates people who occasionally manifest small things from those who command reality at will. Don't let this moment of clarity slip away. Your future self is depending on the identity choice you make right now. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because your journey to master quantum identity embodiment, learn to command the quantum field, and manifest with identity as your superpower is just beginning. And I have so much more to share with you about becoming the person who naturally receives everything they desire.